Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite podcast show. Mark and Ken.
What's the crack?
Episode 185 of the Shite podcast show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we are getting very close.
Yep, still nothing planned.
Have no ideas either.
Is this going to be like a typical us thing where
Yes.
we're going to start planning this like 10 minutes before we go and start recording?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be like, well, I don't know if it'll be 10 minutes, but it'll be something rushed, and we're like, oh, no, for the next like 100 episodes, we'll be like, know what we should have done, or know what would have been cool. Like, we're going to get all the ideas after this, and yeah, but I don't know, what really can you do? We could possibly do a live. That's my only thing that I've come up with. We'll just do the podcast live, and people.
I don't know if that would that be a really good idea? Like, how much do you have to edit out?
Quite a bit. Like, it takes me 3 hours, and the podcast is only an hour long. But like, that's the unfiltered podcast, and like, at least if we do it like on a Facebook Live, we could read some of the comments that come in. That could be interesting.
If not scary.
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's just going to be a lot of us going, where is it? Okay. And then like, if we have to do over, which more than likely we will have to do over like the phone, there will be like a point where I'm just sitting there in silence waiting for you to reconnect.
Just a typical day.
Yeah, just a typical day of the Shite Talk podcast show. But that's the only idea that I might have. Brainstorm an idea. I was thinking also maybe we get like hats made up with 204 on it. And
we could do that.
Yeah, we could get 204 hats, and they say Shite Talk on the peak, and then they have 204. And then people are like, what does 204 mean? Like, I don't know.
It's like a tribal thing.
Yeah, exactly. We could have like fancy hats. I also thought air fresheners might be like, who wouldn't want an air freshener by the Shite Talk podcast?
Yeah, a shite smelling air freshener.
Yeah, exactly.
You too can smell like the Shite Talk podcast show.
Much like a podcast, this will go off within a week. Yeah, so like they're the few ideas that we might have for the podcast. Luckily enough, we're better at coming up with stories for our show.
Sometimes
we got a few interesting stories this week.
We got a few that you've been interested in.
Yeah, exactly. I piqued my interest anyway. Like we have two brothers that are very, very petty to one another, or at least one is. Would you be very petty to any of your siblings?
I only have a sister.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'd be petty, but like I do like annoying the fuck out of her.
I think most brothers do. There's definitely been times in my life where I've been accused of being petty. I'd like to say that I wasn't. I was very rational in my behaviour, but there's been times in my life where I've been at least accused of being petty. Not as petty as the brother did to his brother, and we'll get into that. I've been definitely accused of being petty once or twice in my life. Then we have a guy who have rules for going into comas. So he's set out like basic rules for his family if he goes into a coma. It's a bit of a weird story. Do you have any rules for anything like this? I kind of feel there's probably people out there that have rules for like, if I'm ever on life support, like don't pull my machine, or if I leave my house, these are rules of like mind my house, or stuff about the room. Is there anything you have a rule over? You've like, these are my rules for this scenario.
Not really. Like, the only thing that you could probably say is maybe like that is I want Highway to Hell played at my funeral.
Highway to Hell. Yeah, that's probably definitely doable. Like that. The only really rule I have is when I die is to delete my internet history. That's all I ask. Don't look, just Control Alt Delete. Clear everything. Only rule.
Search history could be the reason for your death.
Clear it all. Don't ask questions.
Just burn the laptop.
Yeah, no. Like I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't like that. Like I don't really have any other rules for shit for anything like that. I don't really put too much thought in what would happen if I go into a coma.
Yeah, me either. Never really thought about it.
Remember me as a peacekeeper.
As a peacekeeper.
Yes. Yeah. We're also looking at breaking research for men's health and how many times we need to be masturbating, and it's a month, and it's quite a lot.
You were quite happy with this one.
Yes, and then you know what? There seems to be a theme each week in our podcast, but like we go down a weird kind of corner. So I was looking at like how many times do I need to masturbate, or is it acceptable to masturbate? And Ken is all the way over in Affley, and he's researching pregnant porn. Barely spoke to each other throughout the week, and it's like we have some kind of synchronicity going on here. We move on to our idiots of the week, and this is probably one of the biggest stories of. Oh no, we don't move on to idiots. Yeah, we do. We move on to our idiots of the week, and one of the biggest stories this week. Imagine being so bad at your job, Ken, that you cause €400 million worth of delays an hour. This is about the Suez Canal, the ship that crashed into the sides of the canal and caused like 10% of the world's shipping to be halted because of the massive delays after one of a ship driver drove into the side of the canal.
Isn't that like that? That's impressive.
That is really, really impressive. Just imagine being so bad at your job that happens. Like imagine being in the ship as that crashes. And you're like, oh my god, I am so fired. But yeah, it's I was impressed how quick the internet was to react to this story. Like within moments, like lorry driver or the digger who was trying to dig out this boat from the embedment had his own like Twitter page. There was memes made up about this, hundreds and hundreds of memes. The internet moves so fast.
Yeah, it's come a long way since the days of dial-up connections.
Yeah, and do you know what? Then we move on to do you ever like go? I could do like a swift change in careers.
Oh, all the time.
All the time. Well, one mafia boss had this idea and wanted to swap out being a mafia boss to maybe like an internet chef, and it didn't really work for him. And he's now on the idiots of the week.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a smart idea putting him on the idiots of the week. Oh, he's in prison now.
He's in prison. Well, yeah, we're ruining the story as we talk about, but yeah, he's in prison. I think we're safe. I don't know how many mafia bosses listen to the Shy Talk podcast show. I think we're small enough to fly under the radar. You would be surprised. Jam-packed as always, and we might as well get into it. And I might as well start off with the Petty Brothers.
Yeah, so what were these fuckers doing?
So, alright, so this basically is an urban legend. I should point this out at the start, that this is just a myth. The myth goes that one brother was so petty to his other brother that he built a building for the only purpose of spoiling his brother's sea view from his apartment. Now, the building was tiny. Like, there wouldn't be too much other reason to build this building other than this. But we were saying in the past, we've all been probably accused of being petty, whether that's like changing the password on your Wi-Fi, swapping the sugar for salt, or vice versa, or even
that's not petty though. That's just funny.
Or even like hiding the batteries in the remote control. We've all done stuff that maybe in hindsight was just a bit spiteful to someone either we're close to or live with
or work with.
Yeah, have you? What's the most pettiest thing you've ever done?
In work, they do this kind of really annoying thing where it doesn't matter how warm it is, the heating has to be on. Like, it doesn't matter. Remember the heat wave there, like, was it last year? And it was like 25, 30 degrees outside. Like, the heating inside was on at 38 degrees.
Yeah.
So like I would do things like first it started off I put the batteries in the remote control for the heating like back ways.
Yeah.
But people start copping that that's what was going on. So I started hiding the fucking thing and I just like ditched it. Just switched for the heat and it's just gone.
I've definitely done pay things in the past. I remember an ex of mine we were meant to go to France. We broke up before we got to go to France. I had paid for flights. She'd send me money, and she wanted a refund, but to the exact cent of the refund. So I was like, okay, it wasn't coming through. I wasn't getting money through, so I was like, I'm not sending you the money until it is. And then this was before, this wasn't even before digital like banking. I could probably like got her IBAN and sent her money through the IBAN, but I didn't. I put it in the post, but to put it through the exact change in like change. Like in smallest change I could possibly put, and I sent it in like just a lump of change into postware. I also didn't cancel my flights, and she's like, "Oh, only one flight is cancelled." Yeah, so I was like, "Yeah, it's yours." And then, yeah, I think there was an airline strike just about to happen, so I got my full refund, and she only got partially.
That's like that thing. I remember hearing about a guy who broke up with his girlfriend he sent her a Valentine's Day card. He broke up with her on Valentine's Day. Sent her a card, and at the bottom of the card it just had like, you know, from his name and oh. She was like, "Where are the X's?" And he was like, "Bitch, that's you."
That's mean. Yeah, but like you said, we've all done nasty things. Whether that's leaving people's shoes out into the rain on purpose, or like hiding something that your sisters are looking for. We've all done stuff. But like this guy takes the absolute biscuit. Now this is an urban legend, but there, like, when you look into the story, there isn't very much other reasons why you'd build a building like this for this purpose, other than out of pure spite. At the narrowest point, the building is only like 2 or 3 meters wide, and at its widest point, 14 feet wide. So it is incredibly thin of a building.
That's literally just for spite.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's 2 foot. Narrowest point is 2 foot wide, and
2 foot wide.
2 foot wide. And at this widest point, it's 14 foot wide. So this is basically a wall with a window in it.
Yeah, it's just a wall.
The Lebanese basically have a word called labasa, which loosely and probably absolutely hardly translated as the grudge. The building was erected in 1954 with the owner basically inheriting land. And the myth goes that the two brothers, they both inherited plots of land. One brother felt that his brother got the better plot of land, and they came to blows over what to do with their plots of land. And since they couldn't agree, the spiteful brother decided to build a building in front of his brothers that was so thin, obviously because he didn't have that much land to build on, just to block the view of his brother's land, so that the land his brother had wouldn't be worth as much.
There's always these spiteful like urban legends.
Yeah,
involving brothers.
Well, I think just in family, but yeah, brothers are very I think men are competitive. I know women are competitive too. You have to be fucking very careful what you say these days. But particularly men towards brothers or just towards other men are extremely competitive. It
gets worse though when they're related.
Oh yeah, it definitely gets worse when you're related, or if especially brothers as well. Like two brothers are very, very competitive. But I'd be out for runs, and I'd see a person in front of me, a guy, and I'd go like, "Oh, I can catch it," and I'd start to speed up. As soon as I pass him, like I get to him, I'm bollocks, and I'm like, "Why did I run that fast?" And I'd be running, and I thought it was just me, and I'd be running like one of the guys that we know would go for a run with me, and he says he does the exact same thing. So like, but in terms of brothers, yeah, they would be extremely, God, they'd be extremely spiteful.
There's like an urban legend about like like your family crest and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's an urban legend behind my family crest. My family crest is two lions fighting over a bloody hand. And the legend comes from, apparently there is a family were kings of, like, Leitrim or fucking Sligo or somewhere. And the king, the father, was dying. And he brought the two sons out. Two sons were fighting over who was going to get to be king. So he brought the two sons out and said, whoever touches land first basically gets everything. So off they went in their little boats, and the older brother fell behind. So he chopped off his hand with a sword and threw it. And it landed on land first. And apparently he won.
And much like my story, we're going to just take that urban legend as complete and utter fact.
Yeah, like that's fucking spiteful, that is. I'm gonna chop my own fucking hand off here.
But like, isn't like that little analogy are both brothers, and they had a falling out over their business, so they went into competition against each other.
Yeah,
and like so you see that like, and there's a few other businesses like that'd be very very similar, and I always spite that they did stuff like that.
Yeah, like something like that happened with Dunn Stores as well.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, something like that. And now Ben Dunn owns.
Ben Dunn runs gyms.
Yeah, now he just runs gyms. Yeah, I don't know what the whole story about Dunn Stores is, and it's a very niche reference. It's a small chain in Ireland that like no one outside of our Ireland. You know what I like about our podcast is we make niche Irish references, even though we have a larger audience outside of Ireland.
And we don't really care.
Yeah, people don't understand what the building is inside. What a room looks like inside the building is each floor is separated by two rooms or two apartments. There's like a narrow corridor that leads to a bedroom, and inside the bedroom there's a 50 centimeter walk-in wardrobe. Like. Just to put into reference, like how small 50 centimeters is, it's if you got two large 30 centimeter rulers, it's not even that. It's smaller than two rulers put together. Yeah,
like it's very 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 small.
Like you might be able to put like a folded pair of pants into this wardrobe.
Pants? Where are you? America?
Trousers. Sorry.
It's your fucking pants.
It's so odd looking. There's definitely a market for odd looking buildings to stay in such a peculiar looking building. I can see like it being sort of a tourist thing of the fact that basically who doesn't want to sleep in a wall that has a seafront. That has a seafront through. I was just wondering because it didn't say who built their house first. I don't know if like if the brother built an apartment block and it was like went against what the other brother wanted to do, so he's like, I'm going to build an apartment block, but I'm going to block yours. Or did he just build an apartment block? Because like, surely you'd imagine that the spiteful brother built his after the other one.
Yeah, you'd imagine so.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just hilarious. Yeah, but we'll move on. And you have a guy who has rules for comas. I would say guys can't have too many lists for things, or it comes kind of weird. So, like, you know how some people have their favorite list of their favorite cars or list of their favorite this. You shouldn't have too many lists.
You shouldn't have a list of anything, really.
Yes, but like, I think
you never want to be associated with a list.
Yeah, well, yes, that is, or a register for that matter. Two things men do not want to be attached to are registers and lists. It's very, very true, Ken. But I think all men should have rules how to govern their lives, like things in
like
what.
Laws.
Well, I wouldn't say laws, but like rules in which to govern our morality and other aspects of our life. Rules around a coma seems kind of an odd one, though.
Yeah, so this dude, He's a bit of a fucking lunatic, obviously. He's got rules for that his family must follow if he goes into a coma. Like, some of them, I don't know. Some of them maybe make a little bit of sense because it's things that people would actually do anyway. But some of them are just really ridiculous. Like, so the first one, the most important rule number one, is that he needs to get a skin fade done once a week.
All right.
He doesn't want any, and he doesn't ever want anything on his face that resembles sideburns or any sort of facial hair.
Like that's his number one concern is having sideburns. If he goes into coma, he's like, whatever happens to me, I do not want sideburns.
Yeah,
that's the first thing I would do. I'd be like, we're gonna grow nice thick sideburns. He's gonna wake up and look like a
number one priority.
Yeah, right. Do you know his family? Do you realize his family are just going to do the opposite of all these rules? We just talked about families being spiteful. There is, like, if someone gave me a rule where the number one rule was they did not want sideburns, 100% they're waking up with sideburns. Anyway, go on.
Number two is that he wants twice weekly pop culture updates from a trusted source and preferably a gay man. So if Rihanna drops an album or Meghan Markle gets assassinated, he needs to know. Even if he can't hear, his body will know and he'll sense it.
Well, I don't know if like Meghan Markle is getting assassinated is what you call pop culture news, just breaking news in general. Like, and I think that breaks a barrier of pop culture news. But yeah, I like a trusted source. Like, what pop culture source could you consider like OK Magazine? And does it have to be read to him by a gay man?
Yeah, it has to be read to him by a gay man.
I'm presume that he knows gay men in his life. That he isn't like, I want a gay man to. You have to go out there and find me a gay man that will come to a hospital and read the pop culture news.
Yeah, like, I don't know, because it just says like preferably by a gay man. So I don't know if he knows a gay man.
He could probably. There's probably a podcast out there with a gay man presenter.
There's probably a podcast out there called "Preferably a Gay Man."
If not, there should be. No, but like, there's probably a podcast that covers pop culture things. Like, you can just play him the podcast. Like that possibly is doable in that case, unless he preferably wants to be read personally to him, and the gay man has to interact with. Is he gay himself?
That I don't know.
Okay, not that would make a difference. This is like, maybe he just wants to find a guy. He's like, this guy will reach me for 6 months. He'll fall in love. When I wake up, bang! I have a husband. Like, maybe this is his end game.
Maybe there's logic to his thinking.
And if he is going to find a mate, having sideburns will go against that, and that's why he wants to look his best. When he's in hospital, he's like, I need to look my best if this gay man's going to read to me.
So number three.
Yeah, number three.
Is that he wants anybody who's ever wronged him in life needs to come in person and apologize.
That's going to happen very much so. Everyone knows to spite. Does he have a rule of people that spite him? Does he he seems very petty anyway?
I don't know. Yeah. He seems like the kind of guy who keeps lists.
Yeah, he has a list of everyone, like starting from like kids in like secondary school or primary school that have begrudged him in any way possible, and he works all the way up to like people in his work.
Yes, he definitely seems like the kind of fucker to have a list.
Yeah, I imagine that's not going to happen. So, like, is he expecting to not get out of his coma, or he's like, I want my enemies to feel bad for me?
Well, he's expecting to be in a coma for a long time, because number 4 is he wants a social media campaign so that people don't forget about him, and he needs a dedicated social media manager to be hired and paid $25,000 a year.
At least he's ensuring that his social media manager is going to be paid a relatively good wage, I guess. Like 25, that's all right, I guess. He's looking out for a social media manager. He's like, get some person on work experience. I don't care. I just want a social media manager. You do it.
So he's planning on being in this coma for a while, I think.
Is he well known anyway? Does he have a following of some sort?
I don't know. He's on TikTok. That's all I know about.
Oh, right. So, like, he's like, I have to maintain. Well, I guess TikTok's probably his business. So, he doesn't want his business to fall to shit. So, he's like, look, I have all these followers. You need to be updated on my condition. Like, pay somebody to keep my channels running. Like, like, it doesn't. The fact that if you look at it, like, his TikTok is his business, it would make sense that he just wants his business maintained, I guess, until he's out of coma, so he doesn't have to try to rebuild his following again once he gets out of his coma.
But like TikTok mightn't even be relevant when he's.
Yeah, I think he'd be like, pivot if you need to pivot. Like, if he went into this coma like 5 years ago, TikTok wouldn't have been a thing. It's like, just pivot onto TikTok, bring all my followers from Facebook to TikTok. I imagine that's it. But yeah, it isn't the craziest one. I still think finding a gay man to read to me would be a lot crazier than making sure my followers have relevant content of me.
Right. His next demand is he wants a Make-A-Wish Foundation campaign with personalized messages from pop stars, and they have to be real pop stars, not local pop stars.
Okay, so like, I don't know, maybe like the Rihanna would feel sorry for him if like message was got out there that like Rihanna, one of your fans, is like in a coma, wants you to wish him well. Does he want regular, like, does he want Rihanna to like keep tabs on him and be like, hey, I hope you're doing well, like, throughout this coma? Or is it just like he just wants pop stars to know that he's like, by the sounds of it, he just wants people to know that he's like in a coma?
You see, there's a bit of a flaw here, because I don't know how old he is, but Make-A-Wish Foundation only do stuff for you before you're 18.
Yeah, like, well, imagine if he's on TikTok, he isn't like 40.
But like, he looks like he could be older than 18.
All right. Well, maybe he won't be in Make-A-Wish. Maybe he just have like his friends and family. He sat them down and look at this. These are my rules. Number 1, no sideburns. Number 2, find a gay man for me. Number 3, but as they like go down the list, they get like more and more difficult to do. Like, number 1, which is is relatively like, no one's going to do for you. You're definitely waking up with sideburns. Like, but it's relatively easy enough to do. Number 2, like, it depends who's in your social circle. Like, let's hope you know a gay man who you're friends with.
Yeah,
but like then you're getting on to like pay someone like. Is he going to pay someone $25,000 a year? Is he making?
You see, he doesn't specify that. He just says somebody must be hired and paid $25,000 a year.
All right, and then he's like, get celebrities to like tell me to get well soon.
Yeah, basically. And then like his next one then is, do not feed me under any circumstances. This is my only shot at weight loss. Is
he overweight?
No.
Yeah. So he's just like, don't feed me any food. Like, I think he believes that like his family's going to be bringing him in McDonald's and just shoving it into his mouth.
Well, that's what I would be doing now.
I think pretty sure you're just going to be fed to a tube, and like your friends and family aren't going to be able to determine that. Like, I don't think anyone's woken up from a coma and gone, Jesus, I put on a bit of pounds. Like, I think in that terms, like, when you wake up from your coma, like, remembering who you are, it's going to be probably more important to you than, oh, have I gained weight?
Yeah, did that gay man read me stories?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, he has 3 more rules.
Oh, yeah?
So the next one is, they need to put a cigarette to his lips. He won't be able to inhale it, but he'll know it's there.
Wouldn't this be his way of, like, stopping smoking?
Possibly.
Yeah, like, if he's worried about losing weight, surely another thing we should be worried about for his health is like stopping smoking.
Well, what he's not worried about is getting a GoFundMe set up immediately so that he has money to buy new clothes for his skinny body and his media interviews when he comes out of his coma.
Yeah, like, and he also has to pay that like social media manager for $25,000.
Yeah, and then his last one. The last one now, this is very specific, and depending on when he goes into a coma, this could be very outdated. His final demand is that Lady Gaga's Chromatica album is played through his AirPods every day, so he doesn't forget about it.
He has like if he has people to do all these things for him, like fair play to him. He's surrounded himself with good people. Like, if any of my friends ever ask me to not to let them have sideburns, they're waking up with sideburns, and I'm not going to probably go visit them other than to shave more sideburns into their face. The only purpose is to make sure that the sideburns are coming out nice and thick. Like that would be the only thing. It's like, yeah, they'll find the funny side of this. It's combing their sideburns into them.
Yeah, that's his fucking story anyway.
Yeah, I'd be like, when I wake up, make sure there's like a burger waiting for me when I wake up. That'd be my only demand. I was like, I probably want a burger.
I'd probably want McDonald's, KFC, and Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, I knew Krispy Kreme was coming, and I could bet McDonald's. I'd be like, just get me like a chipper burger.
Give us an old McDonald's there.
What?
Give us an old McDonald's.
Old McDonald's, yeah. But yeah, that would be my only thing, and delete my internet history. Most importantly, delete that internet history.
What have you been looking up that you need your internet history deleted if you go into a coma?
Just do it. All right. Just don't ask questions.
Have you been looking up pregnancy porn?
Moving to our next. Yeah, well, there's weird fetishes out there, and all I'm saying is actually just destroy the laptop. Destroy the laptop.
Safest option.
Safest options. Just that laptop incinerator. That's all I'm asking. If I go into a coma, get rid of the laptop. Yeah, but like, I don't plan on getting into a coma.
I don't think anybody plans.
Well, maybe we should be. Maybe he's the smart one here. But no, it's apparently what he probably will do going forward if he is the smart one, according to scientists, is what researchers are suggesting all men do every month, which is masturbate. A very excessive level, you have to masturbate. So I imagine most of the men that listen to this podcast will have to grammatically increase their masturbation. Guess how much times per month do scientists or researchers want us to masturbate every month?
A lot.
A lot. 21 times a month.
Like that's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that's unless it's February, in which you get like very little of a break.
No, yeah, February. Yeah, you're at pretty much throughout February. But apparently, researchers think that masturbating at this amount of times in a month will significantly decrease men's chances of developing prostate cancer.
I tell you, at least there's a positive to it. It's not just random.
If only there was any other way, says all men. Oh, this is such a burden put on our lives.
Yeah.
So, but like how they came to this is a bit weird. So researchers in Harvard University released a recent study published by the European Urologically, which is like some science magazine, that suggests that men climax 21 times per month. More per month. So yeah, 20 times is the minimum amount of time that you're meant to masturbate. Which I have one question about this was done by Harvard. Why did no US publisher say we're going to take this story? Why is there a European one going, yes, this seems like important research, we'll publish this for you?
This seems like our kind of thing.
Yeah, this will excite our readership.
Maybe there's more wankers in Europe than in the US.
Yeah, but they believe that doing this will slash your chances of developing prostate cancer by a third.
What's the evidence behind it?
The evidence isn't strong, to be honest with you again.
Where's the sciencey bit?
The evidence, it kind of falls on his face when it comes to science. It's just one thing that some men might just want to believe, and at least they'll have an excuse if they're ever caught. So the sciencey bit basically is they got men to fill out a questionnaire. They got a lot of men now, in fairness to them. They got 31,925 men over an 18-year period to fill out a questionnaire. But, like, I don't know men who fill out these questionnaires are going to be like, yes, I masturbate 21 times a month. Like, if someone says, what's the rough amount of times you climax every month? Unless they're like, they're like, they put it as climax, not wank. And they're like, oh yeah, I have sex about 21 times every month, yeah.
Yeah, maybe people just don't understand what they're asking.
Yeah, they're asked, yeah, oh yeah, it's about 52. Men just inflating their number the same times. Yeah, I get laid like 100 times a month. So maybe this is at play. Like, men are being asked like, how many times they climax, and they're like, a lot, an awful lot. And they're like, and they followed this up over an 18-year period and felt the guys who like overestimated how many times they climax had this significantly less mental chances of catching prostate cancer.
Yeah, because it seems a bit excessive.
Yeah, like, in fairness, like if you were chatting to your mates and like they're saying that they are wanking like 21 times a month.
You'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, that's most of the week you spend wanking. And they're like, yeah, I have a problem. And you're like, yeah, you probably need to talk to someone. You're like, I don't know if you need to like psychologist or a prostitute, but you need to talk to someone about it.
Maybe a prostitute that is a psychologist.
Yeah, and another thing, the age range was between 20 and 29, and as well as 40 and 49. So I don't know if it's just the age thing where younger men like play with themselves or climax more than older men. It could be it, or where the people where surveys and then a follow-up survey was done over this time period. I don't know, but like that was the two age groups.
Or did they start their survey when everybody was 14?
Yeah, exactly. How many 14-year-olds are developing prostate cancer? None, and they wank pretty much for most of the day.
Yeah, like, is that really what happened there?
Yeah, that's what causes less teenagers to develop prostate cancer. It isn't age; it's the fact that they're just horn dogs.
Yeah, they're all like fucking...
Previous studies have suggested something similar, that an active sex size can lower your chances or risks of developing cancer. But now they have the golden number.
They have the golden number, the golden horn.
Yeah, the golden horn. You have to orgasm 21 times. The researchers suggest, but it hasn't been proven, that a successful orgasm may flush out cancer-determining toxins that build up in the prostate. And that's the sciencey bit, Ken, if you get it. So they haven't been able to prove this, but they think like toxins build up in your prostate, and wanking, just like you shoot your load. You're just shooting all the toxins. But I wonder if you're having unprotected sex, are you just shooting toxins?
Yeah,
into your partner.
That's probably not a good thing to be doing.
Yeah, so like I don't know, like that's probably like cause of concern for more women than men are possibly shooting cancerous loads into you.
Yeah,
especially if they're like not climaxing 21 times. Or like 20 times prior to like shooting their load into you. If this could be like a like swell of built up like for several weeks of build up right there that they're shooting into.
Yeah, like it's that could be dangerous for
women out there.
Yeah,
but like at least like next time your partner says to you that they're not in the mood, you have a pretty good suggestion. Well, do you want me to get cancer? Because
it's fine. I'll just fucking die.
I'll just die. I could get cancer. Like, if you don't have sex with me, I could die. I could literally die.
Thanks for being selfish.
Yeah. Where's your headache now?
Yeah, oh, you've got a headache. Well, I'm going to just die.
I'm going to die of cancer. So I guess your headache outweighs cancer, does it? Where the girlfriend or partner will say yes it does.
We're probably going to get in trouble with this one.
Well, we're always dancing on the top of trouble there. But unfortunately, you can't simply just masturbate cancer away. And there are other methods of preventing cancer or prostate cancer, such as a healthy diet, regular exercises, and going to your doctor regularly, I should also point out.
I should also point.
Yeah, you can't just wank your cancer away. But you definitely can try.
Well, you could probably be successful with it.
Yes. And one thing that might help stimulate this is pregnant porn. Ken has details.
So there's this one from. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that she's
UK.
English.
She feels English.
Yeah, it's in pounds, so I'm assuming she's from the UK.
Okay.
So she's I'm not even going to name her because I don't want to give her publicity because she's an idiot. She's got 3 kids, right? She's pregnant with her 4th kid, and she's 39. Her boyfriend, I think he's her boyfriend. I don't think they're married.
Let's say partner. That's what I always show in there. It's
he's 51.
Yeah.
And they've got 3 kids, but she made £40,000 in the last year on OnlyFans.
All right.
And in 2019, she faked depression to get a free nose job worth $7,000 off the NHS. And then last year, like Christmas just gone, she refused to buy her 3 children any Christmas presents, like no Santa, no nothing, so that she could spend £8,000 pampering herself.
I imagine that like she's on lone parents as well, is she? Like she seems like a kind of a one of these sorts.
She seems like a bit of a cunt.
Yeah.
Now what she's decided, so seeing as she made $40,000 last year on OnlyFans, she's decided that being pregnant is not going to stop her, and that there's a serious market out there for pregnancy porn. So she's going to keep doing her OnlyFans.
There really is a market for pregnancy porn, which is like a really odd fetish.
Well, she reckons that she's going to make a lot of money anyway, right? And she has encouraged her children to become social media stars. And her...
What ages are her kids?
I don't know, it doesn't say.
All right.
I think like the oldest one is maybe 19.
She's for an OnlyFans. That's like if you consider maybe she had her kids young, but still she's like flirting with 40.
She's 30, yeah. Like so, I think the oldest one is maybe 19, 20.
Yeah,
but she so her
imagine your ma like was on OnlyFans. Imagine that was your ma's job. Imagine how hard going to school is for you.
Yeah, like going to school for kids is kind of hard enough anyway.
But like, if your mom is in porn, like that must be incredibly. Because like we have all known like lads with attractive looking moms, and like here's the thing, like your mom doesn't have to be necessarily even that attractive for you to get the piss taken out of you.
Yeah.
Like just to like absolutely torment you for like fucking off your friends.
Her justification, right? So
yeah.
She has actually justified this to people. Her justification for the OnlyFans while pregnant is that pregnant women wear bikinis when they're on the beach. So there's no difference between her doing pregnancy porn and a pregnant woman wearing a bikini on the beach.
But like, I'm pretty sure OnlyFans is a lot less than bikinis that they're wearing.
Yeah, and this one gets better.
Especially if you're making $40,000 a year, you're probably not just wearing a bikini. Considering that you probably go on Instagram for free if you wanted a pregnant woman in a bikini.
What's your Instagram page do you follow?
Bikini Pegos, I don't know.
Yeah, so the part that like kind of disgusted me the most is that so she's made the decision to keep photos of the baby off the internet, right? Which that's fair enough. That seems like a smart enough thing to do, unless somebody is willing to pay her £15,000 for a photo of her baby.
See, like that's wrong because, Like, what if the person wants a picture of her naked baby? You're soliciting your fucking child for pedophiles. Like, if a person wants to pay 15,000 like pounds for a picture of your child, you should probably ring the police. Like,
yeah, you should probably be questioning why they're willing to pay 15 grand for a picture of a kid.
Yeah, so she has a price of how much she'll prostitute her kids out for.
Yeah, that's 15,000.
And like, does it say like how much followers she has?
No, it doesn't say.
Or what she did prior to OnlyFans?
Yeah, prior to that she did nothing from what I can make out. Like,
yeah, so like I don't know.
Well, like there's a photo of her Instagram account here, and she has a blue tick, so she obviously has like
a following. Yeah, like fair. Like I have no problem with girls make money off OnlyFans. If you're attractive enough, or if you can convince enough people to pay £20 a month for you to do things, and you prefer to do that rather than work in some other line of work, there's a lot of jobs there that we don't like do that we pay for. So like, I'm not really against like even like a pregnant woman doing OnlyFans. Like obviously the fucking thing with the child, like you should have your kids taken off you for that. But like in terms of like her making money off, like if lads want to pay you like thousands for seeing you naked while pregnant, fucking make your money while you can.
You've 9 months to make as much.
Yeah,
money
exactly.
as you
You're basically a cash cow for 9 months, and there's probably I think OnlyFans have proven the weirder the fetishes are, the more lads will pay. And like as well as that, she has all that fucking bodybuilder breast milk that she can keep pumping out as well. That'll supplement this weird fetish that she's going down. She could have like a premium, like sign up for €20 a month or whatever, £20 a month or £50 a month, and then also be in line to buy some breast milk.
I have a very big problem with the whole 15 grand for a picture of my kid thing.
Yeah, like the dad's in this also. Like
he has no problem with any of this.
I always thought that was weird when lads be like super cool with their girlfriends doing porn. That's just part of their job to get rolled up the hole by some other man who probably has a giant dick. Like, yeah, that's okay.
I can understand like that not being a problem if that's also your job.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. But like, yeah, I just think it's weird that like even like there are like people out there who are in committed relationships and they're like, who pretend that they're dogs for like weird men. And their boyfriends say, yeah, cool. They're paying my mortgage. Paying my mortgage.
Dress up like babies as well. That's another one.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, there's all weird fucking porn fetishes out there.
We could do an episode on that alone.
Yeah, we probably could. Better move on though, because we have our idiots of the week. This is part of the show where it's for idiots, by idiots, and it's where we talk about people doing really dumb things. And like, we've all done stuff that ain't worked out, like possibly could have got us fired and wasn't the most smartest thing in the world to do. I once beached a van on grass and then tried to use hose to pull myself out, and not only got the van stuck but also wrecked our hose. But we've all been there, is what I'm saying. But I have, like, imagine causing 400 million euros or worth of damage, or dollars worth of damage in delays, as well as shut down 10% of global trade in terms of freight shipping.
Yeah, that takes some doing.
That takes like that's impressive amount of fuck up.
Yeah, but imagine that took planning.
Well, no, in fairness, it kind of like your man. Okay, is an idiot a week for this, but like, when you look into the story, it's maddening to see like how such a minuscule canal passageway like operates so much shipping, and that like ship drivers say like the entry into the canal and out of the canal takes so much concentration that like this thing was bound to happen eventually, that something's going to get caught there. And once this narrow passage is clogged, that like you're kind of fucked. and the weight of all these ships as well. Because like the Evergreen is a company that was running the ship through the Suez Canal. It's a Japanese company. It's 1,300 feet long. It had 21,000 shipping containers on it. Like 21,000 on this. Like imagine the weight of these things alone. So when these things get stuck, it's a massive amount of weight that you have to try to lift in order to like free it from anywhere. What basically happened was that it was going through the canal when high winds as well as poor visibility meant that he crashed into the side of the canal and got beached.
That's up there with the Titanic on like big mistakes that ship captains have ever made.
Well, do you know, I seen a photo of like a trailer, and it obviously took a wrong turn or missed its turn, and you know how we have Google Maps open and reroutes you?
Yeah.
But when it reroutes, it doesn't realise that you're a 40-foot trailer, and it rerouted down this tiny, narrow, like canal way that's only really meant for one car going one way, and over this like tiny humpback bridge, and the trailer ended up getting stuck. You know, like when you go, oh, I'll chance I should be all right, and then you went too far that you can't now go back because it's harder to go back than it is to go forward, and you just end up getting stuck. But yeah, this pretty much happened here with this canal, and like it took several days. Like this only got freed on Monday, and I think it happened like I think it was stuck about four or 5 days, and every hour that this thing was blocking this waterway was causing 400 million euros or dollars worth of like delays in shipping, because this is like a narrow passageway that passes through Egypt, and it's the shortest route between Asia and Europe.
Like, that's crazy. Like
10% of all global trade goes through this tiny narrow passageway that was man built anyway. And they're saying, like, because of the weight of vehicles, that this is probably going to keep happening. Like, the vehicles are, like, 21,000 cargo ships of stuff was on this one. And that's like a regular amount. And there's 300 ships that are affected by this. So that's incredible amount of weight that passes through this river every week. But, like, I think that was crazy that happened. But I love how the internet reacted to this. Like the guy, there was a picture of a digger, and looked like a tiny piece beside this massive ship. The guy who was driving the digger had his own Twitter page, and it was followed by 100,000 people. Like this thing only happened over a 4-day period, and there was 21,000 people had all these accounts, and it's like how the internet reacted to this so quickly. It was like I knew about the memes faster than I knew about what actually happened. I was just like seeing all these stories, all these memes coming up, and I was like, what is actually happening? Or people in photos just have that ship like stuck in between the Lord of the Rings and other things like that. Does the internet react super quick?
The internet these days, like, no matter what happens, it's just like everywhere.
It's sometimes the jokes are faster than the story itself.
Like you could be wondering, what the fuck? Where did this start?
Yeah, exactly. People are like, what is this? And then
remember the Joe Biden one? Oh, not Joe Biden. What's his name? Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Like I seen these photos of Bernie Sanders fucking everywhere, just sitting up with his little mittens and stuff. Probably a week before I realised where the fuck they came from.
Yeah. Well, I don't think most people realise where they actually came from, but just the level and the variety of how they got changed. You had them like in MMA matches doing arm bars. You had him like in back of like album covers. Like they like people. The internet went wild on that one, and it was quite funny. You know, in an age of the internet, people have to move fast. They have to make changes. And if you get caught in the old ways, maybe you become irrelevant. And this is what maybe a mafia boss was thinking when he decided to try his hand on a bit of online cooking tutorials.
Yes, like this dude, like he's been wanted since 2014. He's 53 years old. In 2014, Italian prosecutors like released they sought a search warrant or an arrest warrant for him. It was granted, and he went into hiding. So he's been hiding in the Dominican Republic since 2014, and he's a suspected member of the biggest like mafia family in Italy. On Monday, he was arrested because he posted a YouTube tutorial of himself cooking, but like he obviously put a lot of thought into it, and he thought he was being smart because he had the camera that you could not see his face.
Yeah.
But Interpol, of course, being Interpol, they had a record of all his tattoos, which gave him away, and they managed to track him down and arrested him.
What was he trying to cook?
It doesn't say.
See, this is the hard-hitting journalism that we expect. We need the details because our fans. Okay, he got caught by the Interpol, but we want to know what a mafia boss thought was so interesting that he had to share with the rest of the world. I want to know, was it skate bolognese? Probably not. It's an American dish. Like, was it like some kind of pizza? I wonder, like I could just imagine him there, like he's been in hiding. He can't really leave the house too much, or he has to wear disguises. He has to be very, very cautious. He's got fucking fed up to this. And he's just on YouTube the whole time. He's like, do you know what? I make a fucking good ragatoli. I am going to share with the world. I'm going to share my ragatoli. I'll take all the precautions. I'll like hide my face. But the world needs to fucking see this ragatoli.
Well, if The Sopranos has taught me anything about mob bosses, it's that they like cannoli and ziti.
Cannoli and ziti, yeah. And they're like, I got a good ziti recipe right here. My mama gave it to me. It's handed down to the families. Like, I don't have any kids. Fuck it, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna put it on TikTok, and I'm gonna I could possibly make money off TikTok.
So I'm gonna guess that it's one of those two things he was cooking.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, I just loved that he had his recipe. That he's like, I don't know, I don't care if I get caught. The world needs to see this recipe. I need to share this. Like 14 years of hiding, of like watching your movements, making sure you weren't being tracked, like all the precautions that would have like he'd had to go through in order to hide his like activities and his whereabouts and his identity from Interpol, from the like Italian authorities, and it's blown because he wanted to make a YouTube tutorial on cooking.
Basically, yeah, like and now he's probably looking at like I'd love to know how long the video was. Like he hid for 7 years and he gave himself away probably in less than 7 minutes.
Oh yeah, especially if it's a YouTube tutorial, you have to keep that thing under 10 minutes. Definitely if it be under 7 minutes.
Like, and now he's probably looking at like life in prison.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, imagine that other people that are his family, other mafia people they associate with, like, what were you fucking thinking? And
yeah.
Like, his dad's probably pissed off because he gave away the family secrets.
7 fucking years.
Yeah, his dad was like, that was my fucking best ragatoli. I don't even know if ragatoli's a real dish.
I don't know.
It sounds Italian. there might be an Italian person out there. He's going, what the fuck is ragatoli?
Well, we kind of know an Italian person, Mark.
We do. Jeannie's going to be like very pissed off.
It's gonna be, I think Gus listens as well.
Yeah, Gus does listen. He's just like, what the hell? He knows more Italian dishes than Jeannie does.
Oh, I'm not touching this.
Well, this is like based off what Gus tells me. I'll bring him down.
Yeah, I'm not touching this one.
Yeah. Pretty sure I'm trying to say is ragatoli. Ragatoli is probably not a thing. Ragatoli, I'm pretty sure is like some kind of rice dish.
Invented by Mark.
Ragatoli. Yeah, so like, I just love that he's like, I need to share this world. I need to share my gift with the world, and he gets caught. I think that'll be our show for butchering the Italian
Before we
language.
get in any more trouble.
Yeah, exactly. We've already pissed off feminists. We pissed off a lot today. Possibly annoyed our friends.
Again.
Yeah, anyway, so that's our show this week. Like, subscribe, share to your friends, and we'll be back next week with another episode of the Shite Talk Podcast Show.
Good luck.
Shut up and sit down.